Greetings. This is Renee Isuk with Prosperlink Tax Group, and you are watching the 2 Minute Drill. I want to speak briefly about a topic that comes up a lot when I'm consulting with small businesses that are trying to expand. And that conversation deals with whether or not a service provider should be classified as an independent contractor or as an employee. Of course, independent contractors are going to give the most savings for a business owner because they don't have to worry about employment tax, such as FICA, or unemployment tax on the federal and state level. However, small business owners have to be careful as to how they classify the service providers. The IRS provides a 20-factor test to help a person who is receiving services determine whether or not the service provider that they use should be paid as an employee or an independent contractor. And within those 20 factors, there are three main concepts that you want to consider. So when looking at a service provider and whether or not they should be, how should they should be classified, you want to look at the behavioral control. Do you, as a person receiving the service, actually dictate how the job is done and when the job is done? So we want to make sure that we understand who has clear control over that. The second concept would be financial control. When we speak about financial control, does the service provider receive reimbursements for their work? Or what tools or software or whatever it may be to accomplish that work, what's being provided? Is that coming at the service provider's expense, or are you, the person receiving the services, actually giving that reimbursement to the service provider? And then lastly, you want to talk about the relationship nature. Are there written contracts discussing or disclosing the scope of the engagement? Or are there employee type benefits that are given? All of these things need to be considered when classifying independent contractors or employees. And it is very important because there could be some significant penalties incurred if the service provider is classified the wrong way. So if you have further questions as to how to evaluate the relationship using the 20-factor test provided by the IRS, send me an email, send out your questions. Be more than happy to walk you through it. But again, remember these three concepts: behavioral control, financial control, and relationship nature. If you take those things into consideration, you'll be on your way to classifying correctly. Until next time, take care.